In this video, we'll show how to configure Salesforce and SAS, SafeNet Authentication Service. So on the left side, we are logged in to the administration console on Salesforce, and we go to Security and Control, Single Sign-On, and we can add a new SAML settings, but I already have one configured here. So you can see what it should look like once it's configured. There's a lot of information to configure in Salesforce that you can get on the SAS website. Just go to the Communication tab and click on the SAML service provider. All the information is here ready to be copied and pasted. So you need an identity ID. You need a certificate, which you can download here. You need a logon URL, which is right here, and a logout URL. So once everything is configured, you can download the metadata file from Salesforce and upload it into SAS. Once the file is uploaded, then you'll have a Salesforce entry in your SAML service provider settings. And the users are almost ready to authenticate to Salesforce using SAS. The next step is to make sure that if you have several SAML and or identity provider settings, make sure that the one that you just configured is enabled. And if you have several providers enabled, then it generates an extra steps for the end user to authenticate. So you may want to avoid that. Next step is to make sure that the user is enabled to authenticate to that specific SAML service provider. So in this case, you see the user here is configured to authenticate to Salesforce. And as you can see, we are returning the email as an attribute. Once the user is authenticated, SAS will return the email to Salesforce and is to match that information in Salesforce. So you see here, we say that we expect a username, but SAS is returning an email. And that is because if we check our user, you'll see that the username is actually equivalent to the email address. So this information has to match. If the username was more like the alias, then we will configure the user ID in SAS so that it match. And as long as the Salesforce and SAS can agree on what that value is, the user will be able to authenticate.